This is it guys, the 2025 Proton X50 facelift or all new, call it whatever you want, has officially been launched here in Malaysia, and finally we have the prices as well. So between the three variants, the Executive, Premium and Flagship, which one should you actually buy? In this video we're going to take a closer look at each one of the three variants, so you can consider this as the buyer's guide for the new X50. Let's go. Surprisingly, despite the new X50 starting with the Executive variant instead of the Standard, it's actually more affordable now, priced from just 85,800 ringgit, including the 4,000 ringgit rebate for the first 10,000 customers. If you take a 9-year loan with a 10% down payment, you'll be paying around 870 ringgit per month. On the outside, the base Executive variant looks fairly similar to the rest of the range, to the point that it's actually difficult to pinpoint that this is the cheapest variant. It has the exact same front grille with the red highlights and even the same piano black inserts on the front bumper. Even the lights are identical, front and rear, they're all LED. The only giveaways are the blank center camera on this car, because this only has a reverse camera instead of a full 360-degree camera. Plus at the top, you also don't get roof rails on this Executive version. Also to note, compared to the old X50, the new version no longer has any front fog lamps. This is regardless of which variant you buy. From the side, the Executive gets a set of smaller wheels, 17 inches, but it gets dressed with a two-tone design. This to me looks far better than the full silver wheel of the old version. And like before, the Executive gets GT tires instead of Continentals on higher variants. At the back here, the Executive variant looks identical to the Premium with the smaller, more subtle rear wing. For the big bat wing, you gotta go for the Flagship only. The taillights are full with LED items, and at the bottom you've got 4 exhaust tips nicely enclosed within the bumper. And yes, this center portion over here is made of plastic. But that doesn't really matter because the door frame itself at least is still made of metal. The only difference on this Executive is that the tailgate is manual. It's not powered like in the other variants. Inside, the base version feels far more complete than the previous version. You get a full digital driver's display up front and a massive center screen. In the old version, especially before the RC update, if you buy the more affordable options, you get an old school analog dials up front and a tiny center screen plus manual air conditioning system. Now, even the most basic version gets this big screen with full Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, automatic climate control system, and 6, not 4 speakers. Even the wipers have been upgraded. You now get full automatic wipers across the entire range. Previously, it was only fitted on the top spec Flagship version. The only differences on this Executive are the seats. This is fully fabric now, not leather, whereas in the old version, you had leather from the Executive and up. But then again, we no longer have the Standard version now, so this is the base that you can buy. The driver's seat is also fully manual on this base model. Beyond that, the dashboard is fully black in here. If you want the two-tone black and red look with the black headliner plus the sunroof, you've got to go for the Flagship. The ambient lighting system is also missing on this Executive, although you still get the pattern on this black bar up front. Moving on to the back over here, like I said, the Executive version gets this full fabric upholstery, which I quite like. The material feels quite nice, and of course, it's far more breathable compared to leather. Combined with the lighter headlining, if I'm going to be seated in the back, I would actually prefer this one over the rest. The only difference though, this base variant loses out on a center headrest and a pull-down armrest. That is a bit of a shame. On to safety, the X50 Executive gets a full set of 6 airbags, Thankfully, the standard version with only 4 airbags from before is no more. This also gets a set of upgraded features including blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert, and even a door opening warning from inside. However, it still loses out on the far more crucial ADAS features including autonomous emergency braking or AEB and adaptive cruise control or ACC. What has been given a full upgrade, however, is what's under the hood. The entire range now gets the brand new IGT 4-cylinder 1.5-litre TGDI petrol engine. So while in the old X50, all variants other than the Flagship would get a downgraded MPI version, this year is fitted across the board with high outputs as well. Numbers wise, the old version only had 150 PS and 226 Nm of torque. Now all versions get 181 PS and 290 Nm of torque. That is a healthy increase of over 30 PS and 60 Nm of torque. 0 to 100 is now 7.6 seconds, and despite the higher performance, fuel consumption has been improved by 4.7% as well. Another major change is the move from using a timing belt in the old engine to finally a timing chain in the new version. As before, the gearbox is still a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission powering the front wheels. Moving up to the X50 Premium will cost you 12,000 ringgit more, now at 97,800 ringgit. That's as low as 990 ringgit per month. The middle variant, the Premium, is where the new X50 starts to look way more exciting to me. The biggest difference are the new wheels. They are now bigger, 18 inches, complete with red painted brake calipers and Continental tires. Up top, the Premium adds on silver roof rails, and on the nose, you've got a camera over here, and together with cameras on the side mirrors, you've got a full 360-degree parking cameras. On the Premium, open the doors and you get a Proton logo projected on the ground as a welcome light. The windows are also fully tinted as standard on the Premium, and up with this, you no longer have to visit other window tint shops once you've purchased the car. At the back, it looks the same, but this variant adds on a power boot. Now, that is befitting of the Premium name. Inside, surprisingly, the Premium version still gets a full black interior, whereas the old pre-facelift Premium already had a two-tone dashboard. What the Premium does add, however, are full leather seats all around and a power seat for the driver. You also get a full 72 color ambient lighting from the Premium and up. That looks really cool. In the back here, the Premium adds on a center headrest and a fold-down armrest, complete with a couple of cup holders, but it still gets a light-colored roof lining. But even with all those additions, the most important one for me is the inclusion of full ADAS on the Premium and up. This finally adds on AEB or autonomous emergency braking, ACC, adaptive cruise control, together with a level 2 semi-autonomous driving. And finally, we get to the most expensive version of the new X50, the Flagship variant. This one is another 11,500 ringgit more expensive than the Premium at 109,300 ringgit. That's about 1,100 ringgit monthly on a 9-year loan. This version is pretty easy to spot because it's the only one with a two-tone exterior. So the mirror caps, the A-pillars and the roof are all finished in black. At the back, this top-of-the-range Flagship model also gets a big double-wing top spoiler. This has a much higher profile compared to the roofline with a big S on the side and carbon fiber print as well, so you can spot this from a mile away. The rest of the exterior is pretty much identical to the Premium version except for these corner parking sensors. These are used together with the automatic parking assist feature, which is exclusive to the Flagship. So at the front, while the Executive only has 2 parking sensors, the Flagship has 6. It's the same story at the back as well, with 6 for the Flagship and only 4 for the other 2. Moving on inside, the flagship version certainly stands out with this two-tone interior. The bottom half of the dashboard is finished in this dark shade of red, which is also extended to the door cards as well as the seats, together with the full black pillars, headlining, and a big panoramic sunroof as well. It all works together to give off a far more exclusive and sporty feeling interior. Beyond the color change, the flagship also adds on a wireless charger here, but only for one phone at a time and on the right side, while on top here, it also adds on an auto-dimming rear view mirror. On the other variants, it's all an old school manual affair. One last addition for the flagship is very unique. It's this. This is called a semi-transparent sunshade, so even with it open, you can still see through the bottom half of the shade. Other variants get regular sunshades instead. So there you go guys, a spec-by-spec comparison of each of the three variants of the new Proton X50, from the executive to the premium all the way up to the flagship as well. Between these three variants, which one do you think is ideal for you? Do let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching everyone, and stay safe.